Have you ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and just wondered, where did all my money go? Especially when you have a good job. Well, you are definitely not alone. So let's get into it and break down exactly why this keeps happening. Right? You're earning more than you ever have before, you've got a stable career, but somehow, when the 30th rolls around, there's little to nothing left. It honestly feels like you're running on a financial treadmill and getting nowhere. So what gives? Why does saving feel so impossible when it seems like you're doing everything right? And look, this isn't just a feeling you're having, it's a shocking reality for so many. This crazy paradox is really the starting point for us to understand the hidden financial traps that affect millions. It's not always about how much you make, it's about what's happening to that money once it hits your account. So what's really going on here? Well, it's kind of like a perfect storm of pressures all hitting at once. The cost of just about everything is going up. A lot of us are trapped in this cycle of debt from credit cards or student loans. Most of us, let's be honest, were never really taught basic money management in school. And on top of all that, you've got social media dangling these lifestyles in front of us that feel just out of reach, pressuring us to keep up. Okay, the first big reason for this squeeze is something you could call death by a thousand cuts. And what that means is all those small, almost invisible expenses that are slowly but surely draining your bank account, often without you even noticing until it's way too late. Let's use a classic example that we can all probably relate to. That simple daily coffee you grab on your way to work. I mean, it seems totally harmless, right? What's the big deal? It's just a few bucks. On any given day, it's just $5. That's it. It's so easy to just swipe the card and not even think about it. You barely even feel it leaving your account. But let's see what happens when this starts to build up. Whoa. All of a sudden, that small daily habit is costing you over $130 a month. Now we're talking about a real amount of money. That could be your internet bill, a big chunk of your groceries for the week, or a really solid contribution to your savings account. And check this out. Over a full year, that harmless little coffee habit adds up to over $1,500. Just stop and think for a second. What could you do with an extra $1,500? That is the hidden power of these small, consistent expenses. You know, there's actually a name for this. It's called micro-spending. Think of it like a slow, silent leak in your financial boat. You don't notice it at first, but over time it can sink you. By actually tracking every single expense, even the tiny ones, you can start to find these leaks and plug them up for good. All right, next up is a massive problem that just makes that first one even worse, the credit card trap. For millions and millions of people, credit isn't this helpful tool it's supposed to be. It's a huge source of stress and never-ending debt. And what's really dangerous here is how all these issues create this nasty downward spiral. You carry a high balance, which makes it harder to pay on time. A late payment then dings your credit score. And a lower score means you end up paying way more in interest on any future loans, which just digs the hole you're in even deeper. But here's the thing, and this is so important, it doesn't have to be this way. When you really understand how credit works, when to pay your bills, how much of your limit to use, it totally transforms from a source of debt into an incredibly powerful tool for building wealth and hitting your financial goals. And finally, let's talk about the third major hurdle, and this one is huge, the high cost of waiting. Putting off your savings and investments, even for a few years, has a massive financial penalty because, you know what? Time is your single most valuable asset, period. Just look at this comparison. It is absolutely staggering. Someone who starts saving in their early 20s has this enormous advantage over someone who waits until they're 30, even if they're putting away smaller amounts. And why is that? It's the magic of compound growth. Their money just has more time to work for them, to grow on its own. So the big takeaway here is pretty simple. It's less about how much you start with and way more about when you start. You don't need to wait until you feel ready or until you have some huge sum of money to invest. The most powerful move you can possibly make is to start small and start right now. Okay, so we've laid out the problems, right? The microspending, the credit trap, and the high cost of waiting. Now for the good part. How do we actually fix it? Believe it or not, the solution is actually pretty straightforward. Here they are, the 3 keys to breaking the cycle. First, watch your spending like a hawk. Use an app, a spreadsheet, a notebook, whatever. Find those hidden leaks. Second, take some time to really learn the rules of credit so that you are in control, not the other way around. And third, start saving and investing now. Not tomorrow, now. Automate it so it just happens, so you don't even have to think about it. These 3 steps right here are your path out. And that is really the key to all of this. You don't need to win the lottery or get some massive windfall. It's the small, consistent, and smart changes to your daily habits that build real, lasting financial security. And it all starts today. So, that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. After seeing the real impact of all this stuff, the micro spending, the credit traps, the power of time, what is the first small, totally manageable step that you are going to take starting today to change your financial future?